our viewers. Good evening to you. This is Majesty Christian Television Network. My name is Apostle Helen Rudokeno, coming to you this evening on the waves of Majesty Christian Television Network to discuss on a topic which we have regarded as a taboo. We want to talk on forced marriages around us and within us. So in this program, we'll use this particular subject matter on forced marriages, to open up the discussion in the local and public domain. And we will want some of our key figures, key societal figures in Amsterdam, to be part of this discussion. We want to hear from them what they feel about this topic. As we all know, the topic is one of the harmful practices forbidden by the Dutch government and the United Nations. So through this discussion, we hope to shed more light on the practices as well as educate the broader international community within this country. So we will be looking at the basic meaning of forced marriage, why it happens, its impact on the victims, prevention mechanisms, and the legal resources available to the victims. So we invite you to call us on 0626-046-432 in case you have something to say. Our panelists today are seasoned men and women, societal figures in Amsterdam. So we want to thank God that they made their time available to join us to want to discuss this issue. Permit me to introduce them. I start from the next around me is a lady we've known for a while. She's a professional in domestic violence issues and related matters. So she is no other person but Miss Sheila Wias. Welcome to Majesty TV, Sheila.
Thank you so much.
Always shining. Thank you for being here. So we also have Chief Kamal, alias Balade of Balade Restaurant. Chief Kamal is a community leader, an entrepreneur, and the owner of Balade Kitchen. You all know. So help me please receive Chief among us. Chief, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Are you happy to be here?
Very happy to be with you.
So each time you are among us, we value it because we know that you don't have too much time to waste.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you so much. So we also have Miss Ruthie Boni, who is a community leader and also a social worker among us. She's always available when we open our hands to invite her to Majesty TV discussions. Welcome, Miss Ruthie.
It's a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So we know that you are loaded tonight to give us those powerful points. And not the least, but a Reverend Minister, a seasoned Reverend Minister, who is also doing wonderful things in the city. He is also a community leader and a senior pastor of his ministry. Please help me receive Reverend Sue Brown to Majesty TV. Apostle, welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you for coming too. All right, so that is it now. And as we all know, we don't need to be raising hands before we answer. So questions must be thrown out there, and when questions are thrown to us, please feel free to just come in. Only that let there not be any rush. Okay? So make your points and we will understand what you are saying. So that is it. And our fans, please, these are panelists, and you can see that they are well-seasoned men and women. So the ball is on our court now. So what do you understand by the term forced marriage? By the way, is there anything that you know about forced marriage? Is there anything like forced marriage?
Well, I look at the topic, and at times we don't have to play or manipulate words.
Okay.
So when for me, forced marriage is when the teenager is really young and the parents think they want to give her out for her to marry into somebody's house so that they can get money, and they don't care about her welfare, her education. That I consider forced marriage. But we have arranged marriage, which is also a right.
All right. Okay. So you are saying to our viewers that forced marriage happens just because the people want to give their child away because of money.
To benefit them.
To benefit them.
Yeah. They are not looking at the welfare of the young woman.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's for the benefit of the family.
Yeah.
Benefit of the family or the parents?
Normally the parents.
All right. Benefit
yeah.
of the parents.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
the
hear.
guardian.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's hear what other panelists have to say.
Yeah, if I may just add to what Madam said about this forceful marriage, as the term is.
Yeah.
Where we see forceful marriage is mostly among parents that want so much for themselves. You see, in this forceful marriage that we're talking about, it's more in the community of sojourners, people that travel from their local to another country, or they travel to another state, or they are now living in a kind of a community that is not theirs, where children now have to grow up with other cultures, and then and you see there's no how we want to talk about forceful marriage when we don't go into what are the reasons for this practice. Religion is part of it.
Okay.
Language is part of it. Tribe is part of it. Color is part of it. So it brings about that when your daughter come home with maybe a Dutch man, and then you don't like that, you don't feel comfortable with that much, and then you're trying to reject that relationship, and then trying to let your daughter or your son say, look, you have to marry my kind, you see, and then maybe she or he do not want to offend you, and then this child go into such a marriage that she was kind of forced into accepting the marriage because of the tribe or the religion or the that's in a country where these people come from, and so on and so forth. And if they now go into such a marriage, they will not be happy.
Yeah.
They will not be happy.
Definitely.
Because it now become a force on them.
Yeah, it is.
Because you don't allow them to ally with the friends they are together in the school, or they grow up, they now know themselves, they know how to solve problems for themselves. You understand? They know everything about, because of your own maybe your language or your religion, and you think, no, I'm not going to let my daughter marry to a Muslim, or I'm not going to allow my daughter to marry to a Christian, I'm not going to allow my daughter to marry to a Buddhist, or because of their religion, because of this. And then you have this power with you that your child is loving you. She doesn't want to lose you. He doesn't want to lose you. He's thinking, these are my parents, and then maybe I just have to listen to them, because if I'm not listening to them, they may just get angry and something may happen to them. And those kids are now forced to do what you are willing. It is your will now, you place your will upon them. And that is how they go into such marriage. In some cases, it's not about when the parents are poor, or maybe they needed something. It's just that they cannot overcome their fear. The fear of, oh, my child is going to lose my religion. The fear of, oh, they're not going to speak my language anymore. Oh, am I going to have a colored child in the house? Am I going to have a mixed child in the house? How am I going to fix this in the future? This become a fear for some parents, and they go into forcing their children to marry their kind, marry my people, marry my language, marry the man from my town. And that has become, it's still in practice.
Yeah.
It's still in practice, even somehow dodgy, but still in practice. And that's why you see some young people just leave their parents because of this pressure on them. They just leave and go to other places to live, or go to other city, or even do the worst. Even some of them get into drug. Some start drinking heavily. because they think they are not satisfying their parent, and the relationship is breaking, and then they and they need to be with their parent. They love them, they want to be with them, but because of the situation that is happening to the parent just wants their type, only my type. Only me, I'm Hindu, and I don't have to go with Muslim. I'm Christian, I don't have to go with Hindu person, and so on and so forth. This has been a real challenge for the young people. And that is why you see this forceful marriage.
Yeah, but yes, thank you so much, Chief Obalade. But you don't need to. You don't need to. I want to remind us that there are some of us who come from Africa, and these forced marriages are playing in such countries.
Yes.
Okay, like from the northern part where of my country, these people are still into this kind marriages whereby a girl of 13, 14 will be forced to marry a person of 60 years. Do you understand?
This is Chief. Let me just chip in. I'll come. You continue, sir. This is why I wanted to come in, Apostle Helen.
Yeah.
The definition that the Chief just gave is a very correct definition, and Mama also. So I just wanted to add that, and then we'll come. So forced marriage, you get a scenario of forced marriage when globally the definition for forced marriage is defined, in other terms, which of course is the same as what the Chief just said, and Mama, that when one or two partners are forced, put them together, some of them against their will, of course, because of the benefit of the parents or benefit of the surrounding. That's number one. And when they are put together, you see that those people who are put together, they are sometimes kids. You'll be surprised that you will see a child of 8 years old. This is pure abomination.
Yes.
It's pure abomination. A child of 9 years old, 10 years old, 12, even 13.
Yes.
Getting married to somebody who is 60 years old.
Exactly. What do you call that?
You understand? Somebody against her will. Against the little child. I'm not going to call a country right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to call a country. It doesn't mean that I'm denigrating the country, but I saw in Kenya, for example, it also happened in Liberia. I'm from Liberia, where a 60-year-old man, because of religion, is going to get married to somebody who is 12 years old.
Yes.
And in the Western culture and in the Western society, which now is being inculcated globally because of the standard norms, and it is how do you call it? It is social, let's say, human right abuse.
Yes,
That's why it is human right abuse, and it's also criminal offense. Yes, and even termed as domestic violence. And to have a little girl of 9 years
yes.
old, because we know that the social age that landmark age that you need to get before you get married at least is 18.
Yes. So
you can't be 12 and 9 and then get married to even anybody else.
Exactly.
But you are forced into that marriage.
Yes.
You understand? Another way is also they are also forcing the marriage because of circumstances. For example, you are 15 years old and you are pregnant for somebody who is 40 years old, and then your parents say, you must marry him. You must marry him because we don't want a bastard child, all those words are used also.
Yes.
And these forced marriage, let's say these forced marriages mostly happen in Africa, and we're going to come to some of the countries, especially in Asia.
Yeah.
And later when we come to the other question, we're going to bring out other names of the country. So to conclude, what I want to say is that it's a criminal offense, and I will go deeper into that later.
Yeah.
And also, it's a deep human right abuse.
It's abuse, yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And because of also sexuality, where somebody wants to be a lesbian, somebody wants to be a gay or homosexual, transgender, and then they will, leave their parents, and then force themselves to somebody else. Now these are all in our social life today. You know, sometimes you want to create a balance in the world. They say, oh yeah, everybody got human right. If you want to be this, you can be that. If you want to be this, you can be that. But when they force you to do it, then it's a human right abuse. I want to add there quickly before I just give to my panel, my fellow colleagues. You know, when you come to the Christian world, you know, some of us we are Christians, some of us we are Muslim, we are Buddhists, etc. When you come to religion, especially for me, I'm a Christian. What does the Bible say about marriage?
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, when you look at Genesis 2, verse 8, Genesis 2, chapter 2, somewhere down there, verse 22, or coming down from 18 to 22, the Bible's talk about a man will leave his family and cleave
It is wife.
to a wife. So I'm not even going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about talking about homo. It's not even what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is that if you want to get married, you should be a man. And that word man, what I want to describe right now is it's figurative. So it means a woman or a man will cleave to their husband, to their man, to their spouse. What does it mean? It means that only an adult can get married.
Exactly.
This is where I want to go.
Yeah, it's true.
Marriage is not for kids.
No.
It's for people who are mature.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about adulthood. Yeah. Somebody can be nothing and be a very mature person, and somebody can be 50 and be a top person. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're talking about adult. So marriage is not reserved for kids, but for adult, for mature people. Yeah. So don't force people into marriage. So thank you. That's what I wanted to add. Thank you, Chief.
I do agree with him.
Yes.
And then that is why you see when Madam was starting with this topic, she said something that we should. That is the misinterpretation of words or misrepresentation of words may not allow people to really understand what we want them to understand from this topic.
Yeah.
Forceful marriage. When we talk about forceful marriage, the way the man of God just talk about it right now, is like a helpless person, a helpless child that is of no age, maybe still under 10 or a little bit above the teenage age, and you now, without information, without preparation, without anything, and you just tell this young lady you're getting married tomorrow, and then to my friend or to whosoever. This is the child is going to be shocked.
Yeah, traumatized. Yeah, it's true.
She'll be traumatized.
Wow.
She will have no much to learn before going to her husband's house or wherever they want her to be married to. And that means we're talking about the female that's a disadvantage in this kind of relationship. Because for me, I was really trying to bring it to a male and a female. If the religion or the culture or anything will not allow the parent to allow them to be what they want to be or who they want to be, and sharing life with who they want to share life with. But in the other understanding from what the man of God just said, which I now understand, when you make more emphasis into that point, it shows now that we are talking about the helpless child that was forced into a marriage, which happens not only in Africa but mostly all over the world. It depends on the belief and religion of such entities.
Exactly.
I've had it in Pakistan.
Yes.
That this still happens in Pakistan.
India.
That in Pakistan, young people are just given to one mullah, because he's a mullah, he's a very knowledgeable person, and then because the father loves this mullah so much because he teaches, they say, I'm giving you my daughter as a 7-year-old girl or a 9-year-old, and I try to follow up. I try to follow up these stories, and then I asked them, when you married a child of 7, 8, or 9, how do you know about it?
Exactly.
And then they try to explain a little bit, but okay, people don't ask this question, and then when you don't ask this question, you don't get the answers.
Yeah.
Now you ask this very beautiful question. They said, we don't have anything to do with this young lady if we are married to them at that age.
Yeah.
We allow them to grow. Even some of them, we let them go to learning. They can learn Quran. They can learn that's in the school. they allow them, but it has already been from that particular day that the father said, I give you my 7-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
That she's now locked down. She cannot be with another person anymore.
Yes.
But she's growing into believing that she already has a 70-year-old man or 40 years old or maybe older as husband.
Yeah.
And you know, as she grows, she's getting herself together right now.
Yeah.
She's getting a lot of experience. She's learning many things, and maybe when she gets to the age, some of them run away and they kill them in Pakistan. If you run away, they kill you.
Wow.
Even your brother will kill you. They call it
honor
killing.
Oh, yes.
You understand me?
Yeah.
They will kill you because now look at the situation. The child, as a child, 7, 8, whatever, was told that okay, you're going to be married to this. She doesn't have a right. She won't say anything.
Yeah.
She does not know anything.
She doesn't even know what is marriage.
That is exactly what the apostle is talking about. That's
Wow.
exactly what we are here with, from my understanding.
Yeah.
That when a child is under that age when she cannot make her own decision,
We should not force them.
You just arrange the marriage for them at that particular time.
Yeah.
This child will be traumatized.
Exactly.
This child will be under a situation where we met a lot of that situation right now. And I can tell you in Pakistan, one of the problems they have there mostly is that most of these children divorce. They can't allow them to divorce if they are not happy with the marriage anymore. And some of them are already, they're depressed.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a lot of women like that in Pakistan, because the marriage does not last so long. Or maybe the old man even died before she was 17. And things like that happen. And this is the impact of that is forceful marriage.
Exactly.
It destroys a young lady even at their young age, when they were just at the peak of starting their life, to enjoying their life with their friends or so ever.
Yeah.
At that age already, she's a widow. This happened also in India. In India community, they have this too. Some of them, before they just grow up to the age, they're already widowed. And the system also in some part of India, not all India, in some part of India, when a woman becomes widow, you are removed from the society and you are kept in a group of women that are widows.
In other words, she is not allowed to remarry.
She's not. She might be.
She will not see other men.
Yeah, and that is exactly what you were talking about. That is the criminality of it.
That
is the abuse of it.
Yes.
That is the situation where you put a person,
infringement into their human rights.
A young lady that has a pure plate of heart that she just wanted to start her life, and you just destroy it for her from the beginning. So that is very different from what Madame was saying about this arranged marriage. Arranged marriage is something else. It's totally something else.
It's totally different.
It's totally different.
Yes.
It's where you allow some people to see themselves. If you like yourself, do you like this guy? Do you like this person? I bring this person for you to see. Do you like this person? That is totally different.
No, these are from mature people.
Yeah, it's different from when you now take a child from a teenage age, a child from tenderliness, and you just hand it over to a man or whatever.
Yes.
That is a criminal.
It is against human rights.
It's totally against human rights.
And that is the reason why. That is the reason why we are discussing it.
Yes.
So that if you're ignorant about it, you have to know that it is not right.
Yeah.
It is abnormal, and it is against human rights. You don't need to allow any child to go through this.
Exactly.
No child must be allowed.
I want to thank the Netherlands community and the government for so much for what they've been doing in some part of Africa, because the only way you can do this is to educate the people.
Yeah.
You need to educate the people.
Yes.
And they have been doing that through so many NGOs.
Yes.
They've been doing that to make sure that the young lady and even the parent are informed about what kind of life their children will go through if they're forced into a marriage that is not their will.
Yes.
That has really been going on.
Yes.
In Netherlands, it's a crime.
It is
allowed.
in the EU as well.
Yes, and EU generally.
Yes.
And that is the reason why those of us who are already here, who learn these things, also can go on helping people, even in the northern part of Nigeria. This is still happening.
Exactly.
We know that.
Yeah.
But I also see that our government are taking steps. They are trying their best to see that they can discourage such a, but because Nigeria is a remote place, that you cannot really get everything 100% on the open platform. There are so many things that are still happening under the ground. People will say it's not your business. Stay out of this, and that still allow the little community and these young ladies to have this still pressure on them.
Yes.
And I wish that some of this information that is from the that's an apostle and then the Majesty TV we go far to help people.
Yes.
That people will listen, that we are still feeling this impact. We still believe that this thing is happening somewhere, and we don't want it to happen, and we want to let people know that it's also a crime. But if you happens to arrive in a country where that is already finalized as a crime, you can be arrested and then you can also be punished.
Exactly. But I believe that some of them who are coming from Africa, like from Nigeria, because I was looking at the social media, I saw a man, a political figure, you know, a renowned politician. He should be getting to 70, and behold, this girl that was just 13 years was given to him. He went to go and marry that girl. I said, what? How? And he was holding the child this way, the little girl, holding him this way and walking. I said, how can this old man do this? How can you do this? This little girl doesn't know what, and the girl was so happy. Like already a matured woman.
Yeah, that's an abuse because she doesn't know she is being abused.
So if they are going to fly out from Nigeria, maybe they are coming to Europe, I think they have to arrest that man, because in Nigeria nobody may arrest him.
You can also trust that the Western will not even give him a visa to come in here.
But maybe he will say that's his daughter. He wouldn't say it's the wife.
And it's not working anymore right now, because you see the data system is strong right now. You cannot hide many things like you hide before. You see, it may look rough back in Nigeria, but the moment you step out of Nigeria, you are in for it. The data system is very good and they're watching everything. They know everything. If you bring a young lady and say, oh, this one is my wife, they know how to know if she's your wife or not. Because we have this criminality of people kidnapping people, taking young ladies to prostitution and so on and so forth. So the system is going very well in Nigeria. Even with our immigration, you cannot walk around with young ladies and say you want to fly them out. So such a man will not have a guts to come to the Western world, because of course, man, he will be arrested and he will be charged for such a crime. That is a child abuse.
Let me ask the professional among us. So, forced marriage is referred to as illegal and harmful practice in the EU, in the Netherlands as well. Okay, so how familiar do you think the ordinary people know of this?
Many times they do know. But try to ignore, like you were just saying. It's not so wise to get into a country where you would know beforehand that you'll get into trouble. But another thing is, there's a part of the community who doesn't know.
Okay.
And they live. We all live in our own worlds, right? Mm-hmm. So whether it be religion, culture, or I would say, like to add something to what was said.
Yes, go ahead.
Many things were said, and they all add up. The reason why we have, I would say, domestic violence, but this is part of it, right? Forced marriages, is that we have patriarchy, right? In the world, all over the world, the position, the way women are looked at, or they are handled at like they were, things, is why this thinking comes up in saying we find it normal. When we have already said it's an abuse of human rights, we should think twice, whether it be a girl or a boy, a man or a woman. But because this patriarchy which has been there for quite a long time, and has brainwashed us in a certain way, that many people, like the example you were saying, a person at a very old age marries a child, that he himself or his surroundings, his families, his friends, say, what are you doing? That people, so the surroundings are very important in why do we do this? right? So they can get into these kind of activities and get away with it.
Yes.
Because we as societies, as a whole world, are not dealing with the core issues at the right time. And we say Holland and other countries, EU countries, but it has been a long way also in getting these rights where we are standing now when it comes to domestic violence in a broader sense, but also forced marriages. I was just thinking, in European countries a few centuries ago, they also married like a prince to a princess of a different kingdom, etc.
Yes, yes.
They didn't always happily say yes, but they were forced into it by saying, then we have a larger kingdom, right? So they were family reasons in doing that. And that's at a different level, right? We are talking about normal, common people who also have to deal with this in Asian countries, in African countries, in Latin American countries also. So when we come to, say, analyzing it, of course we layer it down to all these different reasons, but this, for me, is the basic thing that we have to look into. How come we have landed in this situation in which girls, not only in this aspect, but in many other aspects, are not dealt with as a mature human being, right? Yes. So we can have all the rights, but it is in the end what is put into practice, right? So, and it happens, unfortunately, I was just looking for figures, right?
Yeah.
But it happens, but the registration isn't that strong enough. Also in Holland, when there is a special bureau who deals with these cases, but they only register the advices that they are asked for by different parties.
Yes? Yeah, so round up a little bit of what you've just said.
In the
nutshell,
yes, in the essence, it's all these different factors leading down to the way we perceive women in society.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You want it in a simple version?
Thank you, Madam Sheila. Thank you. Let me add to this. She's right, because we'll come to the motives, but one of the thing is that most of the time, many traditions, many cultures, and the way we treat women, sometimes it's not good.
Yeah.
And that's why I also derive to forced marriages and other things.
Yes, we do.
Now, since now we are in 2024, so even in my town, in my village, people are trying to know the real value of a female, of course. That's why now
they should be blind.
Yes, that's why we try.
Real value.
Yes, real value.
Oh my God!
I knew it, but now it's recognized more.
Yes, because you know how we used to treat women, but like they are nobody. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But now, as the world is developing, we ourselves, we go back home. I'm from Liberia, as I said. My brother is from Nigeria. My sister from Ghana, another country.
Yeah.
She from India or Pakistan or Bangladesh.
African born.
African born. Thank you. Sorry, but forgive me. So what I want to say is that quickly is that so we ourselves now, we try to go back to our culture and explain to them, look, listen, for example, the female genital, this, that, it's not good. They will try to explain to them. And it's deep in our tradition, we know that. Other things that are very deep in our tradition, but that are really denigrating and condescending women.
Yeah.
We try to, tell our people, listen, this is our culture, but there's another way we can do it so that at least we can bring the women up to our level. Now, it's not an easy task. It's very difficult, because Chief said know what I'm talking about, because we are all deep, in our culture. Yeah. So we need to do more push towards that.
Okay.
In Africa.
And more strategically, because when we come out of our countries, we like to to preserve our traditions, our cultures. And part of it we should.
We should, and we are doing that.
And we are. But part of it, when we see cultures and life as evolving, we should look at it, is it right in this time, in this place, right? So, and I also agreed it's not easy, definitely not. But we all have like you are doing your program, we have our duty. As human beings in all the roles and the functions we have in this world, right? So it's a necessity. We cannot say, for me it's okay. I mean, maybe I don't agree, but I won't do anything. I think every human being has
something to say and to do regarding this issue. That's what you're trying to say. So and for the fact that the word is patriarchal, that is why the whole thing is lingering. That's what her point is. So when we realize that things must not just be that way.
No.
Yeah, but to come in here,
probably things.
I just wanted to conclude quickly, then you come in, my dear sister. So to conclude quickly, just in 30 seconds, we need to give more value to our sisters, to the motherhood, and bring that level up, so that what the Bible says, we should put it in practice, and then what our culture says. But let me come back to betrothed, let's say to forced marriage. What Chief and myself were talking about with forced marriage, the kids, those children who are forced into marriage. You got two instances. He just talked about the other instance where, for example, you say, this little girl who is 8 years old, when she is grown up, she's my wife.
Betrothed.
Betrothed.
Yes.
So you go to the family.
Yes.
You pay a sort of dowry,
exactly.
Give money, this, that. And then what we do in my country, as the tradition is that you don't bring the girl home. The little girl home, she stays with her parents, and they nurture her, and she grow up. When she's like 18, or 17, or 18, at least 18, then she's mature. But then you have already betrothed her once you're 9 years old. But the one that I was talking about is that you see real rape, where a human being is 60 years and getting married to a 9-year, 10-year-old girl, and really having an intimate relationship with that girl. And that is abomination. And that's what we need to say. And that's what we're trying to say. It is a forced marriage. It is human rights abuse. It is domestic violence. And it should come to an end. The
other one also, as well, the betrothed one is also, because when the person begins to grow, you begin to grow as a woman or as a man,
and your whole life
and you feel that this person, this person cannot catch you up. This is not the sort of man you want. You must be able to say no. But because you have been betrothed with that person, there is no going back. No. So it's also forced marriage.
You're right. Go ahead, Mama. Yeah.
So what I want to say about this forced marriage is the government should put out a clear line for the police. The age must be precise. Is it not? Because, for instance, in Ghana, they beat children before. But now, the UN say, don't beat the children. So, the whole educational system, they say, don't. Please beat the children. So it's national. They all know. It's in the constitution. It's accepted. So right now, because all cultures have different way of handling marriages. For instance, some people, they marry their daughters to their friends' sons for alliance, for their business to be together, their finances together. Kings and their friends, they marry their princesses for alliance, So and then there is the time for courtship. So for instance, even in India, they make arranged marriages when the people are young before they meet, and their divorce rate is very low. Like people, because falling in love because I love somebody does not even last. But staying with somebody because you are committed to the person. You are faithful to the person. You want to grow together with the person. It works sometimes. It works. So, the only nuances here is there must be clear age, so that people will not be kidnapped. Maybe an orphan who is 13 will be kidnapped or just sell into a marriage relationship. That there is an office where she can report this to, because you have the liberty to go to the market, so you go and report to maybe a social worker or a teacher, and the teacher will report to the school or report to the police. So the ladies, the young vulnerable women will know that, no, I'm this my age and they want me to marry this man, and my auntie, because I'm orphan. Then she explained the thing and they know how to handle it. But if there are no steps and offices and regulations around it, they will do it.
There's really regulations around it. It's internationally accepted that once you are 18 years old, you have become mature.
You know the age,
so that's the age of responsibility.
The poor little girl know where to report to, where to get help from.
That's why they are creating awareness. Even from the village rulers like Chief Obalade, they must be able to speak and implement that which is right.
That's exactly where I try to elaborate on that point the other time. That look, the government is doing everything possible to reach out to the rural area, to inform them, even with the Nollywood.
Yes.
Nollywood is doing their best, trying also to dramatize it, to bring it into a kind of a dramatic that's a scene. So where people will see that a child that is married young suffered in her husband's home. They also have a medical that's a challenges. Even some of them are pregnant young, and then to give birth at that young age has stop their fallopian tube, and that has really caused them a lot of setbacks.
Yes.
And they are learning this because also in the north, where that particular practice is much more that's known.
Yeah.
They are getting informed. They are being told about the suffering of their kids, how they suffered after they being so young and then give birth to a child. A lot of them has a lot of abdominal problems.
It's true.
A lot of that's how do I call it, genitals problem and things like that.
Yes.
So this has already got into them, and a lot of women, a lot of mothers will not allow their daughters to be married off so very easy or soon of their age. So, but when look at the scenario that Apostle was talking to us about, it's about a knowledgeable person, a person that has the capacity of legislatives, that is in the government, that will now go and then marry a 13 years old and then show off with it. But I tell you that particular area where you just mentioned has been attacked by the house themselves.
Okay.
Yes. If you go back into that story, because I follow that story, the house, the representative, all of them stood up and said, no, we're not going with you with this.
Okay.
You can't do this and sit with us.
Oh, that's good.
We don't want it. And I think something happened and did not follow to the end. What happened? Maybe he let the girl go.
Wow.
Or maybe something happened. But there was a good news behind this story, because I followed it a bit, but not to the end of it. But from what you just said and then Madam said, is that we also work hard to inform the people, to spread the news
it's
that
important.
this should be totally discouraged in our society. And in Africa, this is being discouraged in so many African countries. It's no longer used to be very pronounced.
Okay, let's now just go to the next question. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. So, how does forced marriages affect the victims? How does it affect the victims? Reverend?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Apostle. Thank you. Anyways, I know my fellow panelists will pound on it. Let's ponder on that. One of the ways is the health.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So there's this scenario of a little girl, who was 12, 13 when she was forced into this you don't have nothing to say. You are beautiful, marry him. So she went into that marriage against her will. That's why it comes the human rights abuse and the domestic violence. Now, so at 14, she got pregnant. Now, she was able to deliver safely, but unfortunately, she got infection on her womb. Yeah, it is sad. And there is there is always a way where she will do further surgery so that she can come back to herself. And now she is saying, she tried to get some advocates. She is saying that she went into the marriage against her will. The man paid her bride price against her will. Now she is 18 and she wants to leave this marriage.
Yes.
So she wants to go to court, and her father and her mother say, upon our dead bodies, you can never leave this man.
Oh.
You see, this is where now we need, this is why the human rights abuse and the domestic violence we're talking about. And this girl, these kind of people, they have meaning in the society and they need help. And now she got the scars of that, infection in the womb and living with an older man.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want, so now she's going to court.
Yes.
She's going to court, and I pray that she will win the case so that, I don't support that vote. But in that particular situation, I mean, there's no equilibrium.
Yes.
So I prefer that this little girl she should come out of bondage.
Out of it, yes.
This is a bondage.
Yes.
So number one, health, and then, and number two, there are many, depending on the plan. Number two is, it destroy your education. Yeah, you because of marriage, you cannot even go further to learn a trade or do a career. You become a mother, and you are born children, 2, 3, born 1, born 2, born 3. I mean, you just settle down against your will. Somebody may say, but a man will pour to school this and look, it's maybe 10%. But we're talking about 10 over 100. It's too little.
Yeah.
In most cases, it doesn't even happen. So I'm going to stop right from
Thank you.
You see, forcing a child into marriage is from being just lost for the global that is in
global society.
Because you see, you cannot determine what a child could be for the long time of how do I say that? What she can be in the future and how she can be of help to many people. But when we force a child at that age into such marriage, she is growing up with a lot of anger inside of her. And then it's just like you destroy a total entity. So that you could be a good mother to some children, you could raise a very good community.
Yes.
You could be maybe a nurse or doctor or be a lawyer or be someone very great. You just destroy that child.
Yes.
And then you allow the global community to lose something that could be very, very good. Look at what we have right now in our sport. We have young lady playing football. You can see how good these young ladies are.
Yes.
We have some of them that are homeless.
Yes.
We have some of them running in every meters that's like this. Look at what they are giving back to the world.
Exactly.
They are giving back.
Yes.
If you destroy this child from being a child and then she just all her life is just going to be thinking about raising a child.
Yes. Yeah.
Now that means you squeeze that life there, you destroy that life there. So there's a lot of negative impact on that particular that's a victim.
Yes.
It's very, very it is unimaginable what we can get out of a child that is free to grow, to learn, to go to school and get herself educated and even see the world. We cannot understand the potential in some people. So when we come to like the stage of not having respect for women, you can see that it's foolishness in the part of anyone who will not have respect.
Exactly, it's foolishness.
And look at how much we love our mother.
Yes.
Because people ask that question so much from people. Will you say how much you love your mother?
Yes.
How do you make you want to love your partner that much?
Exactly.
You understand?
Yes.
If you love your mother, you believe that a woman, she's so important, she's your mother, she's so important, you really want to cherish her, you want to take care of her. Look, you see another woman who is going to be a mother to another person that will really cherish her, but to you, she's nothing. So where do you come from? What exactly is that?
And when you want to come in here, at times in some cultures or our old way of doing things, there are children that maybe always using the arranged marriages because the children will be young when they get. It's not when they arranged. Yeah. So right now that thing has been in people's mind because there are advantages. So right now you see that because of that people are taking other children too young. So we have to put in poverty alleviation programs in small communities. Whether the little girl that they are going to force because they cannot educate her to a good level, then she has that courses, short courses that will take her time till she's 18, 19 before she can start having a relationship and courtship. That will help fight instead of saying let the police come in or something. Then that's what
it's another point and then another logical area of looking at it. Because we're talking about people forced into this. Some of them are not forced. You understand? Some of them are not forced, but they are wrongly educated. And the reason why I say that, but
what do you mean by that? They're not forced.
They're not forced, just like what she said about arranged.
You
understand me? Arranged, it's not a force. The girl can also be happy. They're even bringing her something and so on and so forth. But that is information because she's still young. It's not, she doesn't know anything about it. She cannot make up her own mind and decide something, but she's talking about something that maybe we are not looking at that angle. She's talking about poverty.
Poverty, yes, as a means.
As a means. You see, poverty at times allow a girl that my parents just waiting for her to be 18. They just waiting for her to be 18. Oh, you just be 18 because I don't want to hear anything saying. I don't want people to see me like I give a child out or just be 18 because you are eating too much in this house. We need to let you go. Oh, she's eating too much. They were just waiting for that girl to get 18 and as soon as she gets 18, the girl out of the house. So if what she's talking about poverty elimination program,
you said it again, I was going out of the house on the point.
I'm telling you honestly, I have seen that.
Wow, I've not heard of this one.
Yeah, I've seen it in so many families because they couldn't eat them out, and then they have about 6 of them or 7 of them, and then 3 of them are girls, and these girls now are going into 18, and then they just eat 18. When is that boy that is coming? But if the boy is not coming, they are going to look for a boy. They are going to look for a boy and say, please go. Under pressure of poverty.
Yes.
And they think they're doing the right thing. They're saying we are getting you off merit, but the reason underneath is poverty. And another program, when we get into prevention, is to, we say we raise a child, but we should raise ourselves, like parents, grandparents, and the community leaders, in like we are doing now, getting together and discussing when we have a child, if we are lucky enough to have a child, what is the perspective for ourselves, of course, but also for the child, the girl child, because we know the girls are treated differently. And how am I going to take that responsibility to change it? Even it's a little bit. And you know, many times these are such huge issues. We think, where are we going to start? But it is one step at a time within your possibilities. Like when you can be there in a church, you have a position, people honor you for what you say and for your ideas, but so it makes huge impact. But also when I talk to a neighbor of mine, if they're in a certain situation and I have a good relationship, they will listen. But it is work. This is work, right?
Yeah, it is.
So educational programs for the parents are not how to feed a child, and you know those things are important as well. But what are you aiming for your child?
Educational program for the young girls also, because somebody will come from Europe and go to
Ghana, Africa, and he say, I will take you to Europe to work. And then come and force you into prostitution. So what is the difference between you being forced into prostitution or you being forced to marry? So if she doesn't know the truth that Europe is difficult, you have to get a working permit, you have even your house you have to live with, there are rules. So education.
So what you are trying to say is that some people left Africa, they've come here now, and they are still into these forced marriages because they came in, they were thinking they were coming to work, and now entering Europe, they've seen that it is too hard. It is even easier to work in Africa than to work here.
Yes.
Because a lot of things are in demand here.
Yes, that is why the program is very important to get to many people.
Yes.
I do like it if this program is being advertised in a way that it will get to many people. Because what she said right now is something that we are keeping so quiet here in the Western world.
No, we are not. They are doing something to stop human trafficking.
That's it. Even some of them are 14, 15, 16s. That's it, being transported into Europe.
Exactly.
Come with some parents and say, yeah, she's my daughter's is this. And after they do all those things, they dump them to some kind of a criminal, that's the level. And these young ladies are just
looking for the way to survive.
Looking for a way to survive and go into prostitution and so on and so forth. We still have those things. But
and from prostitution, maybe somebody goes to marry them.
We are ready, if we have contact with such children, we will report them to the government, we will report them to our organization so that we can help such children. We have them here, so we should look into them also. Because if you really want to clean outside, you should clean inside also.
Exactly.
What she's saying.
Yes.
She's saying that if we really want to educate the children, we should first of all educate ourselves. And how to educate ourselves is for us to bring our mind on that, no, I'm not going to live on this child. I'm not going to sell her for money. I'm not going to sell her into a marriage because I need money. If you can organize that with yourself, you can educate yourself, I think that will help the child a lot. So first of all, we need to make sure that the parents are well educated about it, well informed about what will be the condition of that child if the child is forced into such marriage.
Yes.
That will help a lot because if they start feeling with enough education, they start feeling that no, my child will go and suffer this much, so let me not do it. I welcome your that is our contribution because that is one of the best things. If you want to teach someone, say, if you want to remove someone's dirty in the eye, first of all, remove yours.
Exactly.
And the parents need to be educated too. They need to have information about the condition of their children will be if they are forced into such conditions.
So that brings me to the next question, please.
I said that earlier, so receive it.
Well, that is what it is now.
Yes. So, quickly, I just want to add what my fellow panelists just said. I am on a case right now in my ministry of an individual, I'll keep the name silent, who has come from Africa.
Yes.
But this individual is not a child, it's not a kid.
Yeah.
But she was forced into the situation that she's in right now. This individual was working in a bank. Brilliant, young, coming up little girl, between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
And then a mature man from Holland went to Africa, saw this beautiful little girl who is working in the bank.
Hey.
I like you, blah, blah, blah.
And pulled her out.
I will bring you to Amsterdam. I live in Amsterdam. The guy said, but are you married? No, I'm not married. You are told, no, I don't have children. So because he has money, he was able to process the girl paper.
Yeah.
But that's another way of forced marriage.
In Africa.
And the girl had to resign from her work. She was doing well in Africa. Left the job. Got to Amsterdam. Now knowing the man does not live in Amsterdam, he lives in Belgium.
Okay.
And he is actually married with 3 children.
Oh.
When she got on the ground, in 2 weeks she noticed that she was tricked, she was fooled into that situation.
Yeah.
But before she opened her eyes, she's already pregnant. Oh. For the man who has brought her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they are not married. Oh. But the man also has another wife in Belgium. He's living with his family. Now, the poor little girl now, she has to, go to the Gemeente. Because through, one of the advantages that she got the paper of school, but she has to go to the Gemeente now so that she can get a room and get out catering. And she's forced now to
struggle at home for the next 9 months. You go through all the pregnancy and everything, and this is terrible, Chief. You know, this is no good. We have to educate ourselves and tell people, you know, when they hear about Europe and they hear about America, you know, they think it's bread and butter on the street, and then and now she's with a little girl. The little girl is now almost 6 years, and they live in a room, you know.
Yes.
And now she's struggling. She cannot
go back.
Yeah, because she lost everything there, so she has to stay for the next 5 years so she can get a passport.
Yeah.
But the man has his right because the girl cannot go in her home. And then he using the girl now as his concubine, and this is terrible. So we, you know, as men of God, trying to tell them that this relationship is not from God, of course, applying what the Bible says and what have you, to see how the girl can settle down and move on with her life.
Yes.
So these are things that you see in the society, and if we had not come in, she could have gone into prostitution, unfortunately, because she needs to survive. And there are a lot of scenarios. Yeah.
So how can ordinary citizens like us, how can we help to prevent this forced marriages? What can you do to prevent this in
Apart
the
from
environment?
doing a lot of campaign adverts about the truth of situations. If you are in Europe, doesn't mean life is easy. If you give your child out and you didn't educate your girl child, she go and she's suffering, you too, you will suffer. But if you train your girl child and she has a good job, and she have a good husband, you too, you will enjoy. Because then she has money to take care of you in your old age. So we have two things: educating them, talking about pregnancy alleviation. Traveling to Europe is not like bread and butter easy. There are a lot of formalities like your residence permit, your working permit. It takes time. So the people have us to know the truth, and they have to make informed decisions.
Thank you so much. But this is not only about
you know, from what you just said right now, and then if I'm getting hard, I'm going to that from what we in our position can do.
Yeah.
And it's like since we know this, we know the pain, we are educated about it, and then some of us also know exactly where let's say such a practice is taking place.
Yes.
We can try to approach them educationally and try and you know, we don't go to them like trying to convert them or changing their mind. It's for us showing them exactly what could happen if they continue in that way. Bringing some that's a reality show to them, bringing them some kind of information that is already happened and real information of people that are being affected, that they can see and learn from them. And you know, mostly for people like myself that are in this community program, and leading people, and so I have a lot of program making people to come to me. And then whenever people are coming to me, we hear so many things.
Yes.
There have been people who have approached me directly and talk to me about even travel. Women, young ladies, they approach me about travel. I'm able to bring the picture of traveling to them. I say, no guys, if you traveled, you're on your own. There's a lot of trouble that you can find on the way. And also, if we have the opportunity to tell the young ladies that we may have the opportunity of coming close to parents who may just lose their children into such forceful marriage, and we can help them, we can inform them, we can always open up to them for them to see the danger and try to practice such abominable that is practice. I think that is what we can do at this level, and also I'm asking our government to support us.
Yeah, the government,
So that the information can go easy to the people.
Yes.
We may be able to manage some part of it, but we need also their support to be able to go forward into getting people to listen to us, and then also our churches and our mosques are also important for them to get into this, learn it. And because now we are having younger people as teachers of the Gospels. And if these young people can also have this program, also teaching to them, telling people about it, but look, this is not good. It's not good anymore.
Yes.
Let's drop this. Let's help this young lady. Let's not push them into it. I think it could be a lot of help.
So is it only the young ladies, I ask again, that are being pushed into forced marriages?
No.
Because in Turkey, I saw young men who are also into this.
Yes.
Even in the hotel we lodged. So I was seeing these young men trying to advertise themselves, saying that they want to marry. You know, 14, 15, they want to marry. And they were very vulgar, even in their words. You know, because they will let you know that they can do it very well.
The reason why we are so much concerned about the female is because the most damage that this particular practice has caused has been more on the female path. I've been in a hospital where one lady still under treatment of medicine, and she's having a genital problem.
Yes, they normally have that.
Yeah, and then I think she did that, and then she's having a wash of blood.
Yes.
And after a while, the disease stopped.
Yeah.
And the reason why that happened. So you see, we focus more on the female child, that's in marriage, first marriage, because it has a lot of damages done to them physically, mentally, and even in the social growth.
So let me ask this question: have we ever seen any scenario where these old people who married these young girls eventually, because one of you made mention that they don't start sleeping with them at the time they marry them, maybe they allow them to grow until they reach the age of 18.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to create.
So my question is, when they got to that age, the old man that married that young girl, did he ever repent, like to say, this, I'm too old to marry this girl, so let me let her go? You know? Is there any question like that?
That is when you hear what she said the other time when she was talking about how they perceive women. Like their teen. Like my teen belongs to me.
It's a private property.
So now, how will you let your teen go?
Your property.
Yeah, it's property, and that's status, right?
Yeah, your property.
But you understand me?
I understand your question,
Yes.
but I just
Because I mean, for conscience
conscience does not come in right now.
It's prestige.
He's not feeling that he's doing something wrong until he's educated. If he's not thinking that he's doing anything wrong, why even you take it from him? They kill people because of that. Because sometimes you don't really get grown up.
Yeah.
And another guy is looking at the girl.
Yeah.
You don't know that the girl is already that's a thinking.
Yeah.
To someone, and he tried to meet him, and there's a lot of trouble, and the guy can't get killed.
Yes. It's still very good.
You're looking at my wife. Oh my God, you want to take my wife with me? And then you get people, and some of them get hurt. So it's been something that you just have to go on with your permission, man. When this program still keep running, we should work more. Look at what area again handle this particular area. We shouldn't just let it just go like that.
No.
We have actors.
You have three.
We have actors. And then now that you actors, we put in some more things. How do we work with these things? It's really just being just a banner discussion.
No.
If we have if you have an organization already in any country that this has been affected, we need to contact them. We need to allow them to see these messages.
Yes.
So if they have these messages, we contact them. They will be able to see what are the challenges they are going through to fix that particular thing.
Yes.
And maybe that is the area where we can do of more help.
Amen.
Thank you, Chief. So the question was, so what can we do to prevent this forced marriage?
Prevention mechanism.
Yes. So he talks about education.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to multiply the symposium, many symposium, many platforms, and now you have this beautiful platform. So there should be many broadcasts.
Yeah.
Beside the broadcast, there should be. If you can also organize a symposium where you can have a panelist in that symposium, invite people, where there will be question and answer and things like that. Many of these forums are very educative, and then we ourselves,
and the panels and them.
we ourselves, and as I said, we have deep cultural backgrounds, and deep, we are holding fast to our cultures and our tradition. In some cases, it is not wrong, but however, when you look, with a microscopic eye at our culture, there are certain things that we do that go against human rights, that really, discriminate, other genders and especially the female gender and everything. So we need to find an equilibrium. We have to balance it and tell our people, listen, we know that this thing is our tradition, but we see the consequences that it's bringing out, the negative, look at what it's producing. As I said, like the female gender mutilation, and also in some African culture where they have to map all your skin. There are a lot of things we do. We don't want to destroy our culture. We have good cultures in Pakistan.
The bad ones, we keep them in.
In Pakistan, India, we have good culture. Ethiopia, we have good things. But we the Africans have our tradition, our culture. But don't get it wrong. The Caucasian, the white people, they have their tradition and their culture.
Yes, they have.
That's why they keep it. When you see them doing Halloween, holiday is part of their tradition.
It's true.
And they cherish it. But however, anything that have to really create negativism, especially on gender, whether it's female gender or male gender, we have to do something to create an equilibrium. Another thing is that this forced marriage is not only reserved for female. I have read and I have also seen young boys who are forcing the marriage with elderly women who are more than 50. It is laughable, but it is very sad. And it happened. We are in a world now today. We are in 2024. It was surprising that things that used to happen in 1990, in 2024 now they are modified, and the worst has now happened now, even in the 2024, and what's going to happen in 2025? You understand? So we need to open our eyes and really create platforms that will. It's not only the church.
No.
It's not only the mosque. It's not only the temple or the synagogue or any religion. Let us also apply beside the Bible, and that's what we're doing. Let's see how the government can come into and help organizations like Majesty TV, the ministries. That other churches have ministries that are trying to help these things. And people who don't have churches, who like Sheila, Chief, who are in the community, also helping people. They need also financial support to organize these things and then be sure to educate our people. Education is lacking. Ignorance is a disease. When you don't know something, it can kill you. And that's what we are going through today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think what you have to say, just 1 second, as we are running up now, what you have to say as a professional on this topic.
I would like to emphasize the cooperation between the organizations, existing organizations who have expertise, who have people with whom we could share more and get out the programs for awareness, for knowledge. And I think many things have already been said, but we need continuation. Talk more and get more deeper. And once we are convinced, we can convince more people, right? We're going for these kind of topics.
Exactly. Because before we see it as a taboo, we don't open it up.
We don't
we start talking about it, and we are convinced that it is bad, we can convince many people to.
Yes, and that's why I'm so proud of this panel. I'm so proud of this panel because when we're trying to get other community leaders to come, they will say, immediately they hear the topic, they say, no, my wife's family, they will begin to attack me now. What has it got to do with your wife's family? And so some of them are not bold enough to come out to
It's also part of their reality. They don't dare, right? So you need the people who dare already, and then bring the others
into
the table. Right?
Wow.
Right. Thank you so much for all the work that you are doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Chief Abadede, what do you have to say, please? Look into the camera and tell us the menu for the night.
If you talk about the menu, we are still there. You really need to come and enjoy yourself with our jollof rice, which is always we are driving with the Ghanaians. And the Ghanaians say they have the best jollof rice. And I tell you, we are really going to a big competition with this madam from really has the best jollof rice. But if you really want to try on the playground, come to Obalade, we have jollof rice for you.
Yes.
And then for this weather, we have pepper soup.
Pepper soup! Obalade pepper soup is the best. Thank you so much, sir. So what do you have to say? Give us your last take on this. Let's
on the competition of jollof rice and pepper soup, let the young girls be nice in their homes, learn and be realistic, and be productive to their families.
That is it. You see, young people now to start learning to cook jollof rice.
All right, Governor, what do you have to tell us, please?
Yes, so
look into the camera and talk to us.
I want to say thank you to Apostle Henry and Apostle Larry for this beautiful initiative. And thank you to my fellow panelists also. We want to continue this as platform.
Yes, please.
And this broadcast. We want you to always follow and watch it.
Yes.
It is an initiative that will bring more education to our society and our community. I want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, sir.
Of my wife and
yes.
our ministry,
yes.
the ministry.
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're always available
yes.
to come over and give what God has given us for our community.
Already you have promised that the next 3 sessions we are going to complete them. All right. So I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being with us. May God replenish the strength that you have invested in us tonight. God richly bless you. To our fans, please continue to watch Majesty Christian Television Network. And by this time next week, we are coming to you again and again and again. Remember, forced marriage should not be a taboo. Speak about it and make a disgrace of it. God bless you all. Bye for now. Let's invite them.